When we do the lunges, we make wide steps, wide strides. After the lunges, we're gonna bring our knees up high to our chest.
Part of the appeal of bodybuilding is seeing people take their bodies to the limits of strength and ability. We like seeing people who've trained hard and look like they're made out of cut stone because of it. We enjoy seeing big dudes and dense muscle on these beasts. While some guys attain that look through working out, some have another advantage: height. Let's take a look at the top 10 tallest bodybuilders in the world. Number 10. Noah Steere. We're starting off this list with a lesser-known bodybuilder. However, with a height of 6'6", we always knew that he needed to be included in this video. Noah Steere has been competing regularly in competitions for years and has garnered a reputation both from his huge size and his massive muscle. Unlike a lot of guys on the competition scene, Steere generally avoids the spotlight. As such, Steere is an inspiration for people who are into bodybuilding but aren't so interested in cultivating an image. Number 9. Morgan Aste. Aste, also called the Big Rock, is one of the shortest bodybuilders on today's list. However, that still makes him an impressive 6'3", which is still giant-like for most people. He used to regularly come in first in strongman competitions in his native France, where he earned quite the reputation. He quickly made a reputation for himself for his ability to switch so easily between strongman and bodybuilding. Aste started bodybuilding early and had caught the bug by the time he was 16. After making his name in Europe, he started to enter North American competitions in 2014. Today, he's an IFBB professional bodybuilder and has his eyes on entering Mr. Olympia soon. Number 8. Ike Catcher. Catcher is a calisthenic bodybuilder who's been making a name for himself on the boardwalk of Muscle Beach in Venice, California. With a height 6'9", this dude is already insanely big, but it's his ripped physique that really impresses. Catcher prefers street workouts, and as someone so invested in calisthenics, he can move his body quickly in ways that most bodybuilders can't. He's not yet broken into the competition scene, but you should keep your eyes on this giant for the future. Number 7. Dalip Singh. In 2006, for the first time ever, an Indian wrestler stepped into the WWE ring. Standing 7 feet tall and weighing in at a massive 160 kilos, he was the new Goliath. Wrestlers were scared, the audience was awestruck, and Indians were incredibly proud. Dalip Singh Rana, or the Great Khali, has finally arrived onto the proving grounds of the WWE. The 8th tallest wrestler in WWE's history was soon reaching for the stars. He was the new poster boy of the WWE and gave Indians and fans all over the world a new reason to watch wrestling again. To start with, Khali was already a genetic freak. His potential was discovered by a very highly respected Indian bodybuilding guru called Dr. Randir Steere. This was his start in the world of professional bodybuilding. He never knew what his future held for him and the stardom that awaited him in the years to come. It's mentioned on a lot of forums that his bench went up to 600 pounds during his bodybuilding days. His max bicep curl is said to be 200 pounds. That's pretty hard to believe, but so are Khali's genetics. Number 6. Martyn Ford. Also called the Nightmare, Martyn Ford hails from Birmingham, England, and has a rather unusual history as a bodybuilder. Standing at 6'8" and around 320 pounds, he originally got his start as a professional cricketer. Midway through a promising cricket career, he was diagnosed with glandular fever, also known as the kissing disease. This cut Ford's dream job short. However, Ford channeled his frustration into building muscle and making some unbelievable gains. These days, Martyn Ford is a man of many trades and talents. He still takes part in competitions professionally and has kept up his name in the lifting world. He's also appeared in a fair share of mainstream movies and owns and operates his own gym, also working as a fitness model. Number 5. Aaron Reed. You may have already heard of Aaron Reed, and with good reason. The former WWE wrestler and competitive bodybuilder, Reed stands at an absolutely huge 6'7" and towers over most guys at the gym with his impressive height. Today, he has the distinction of being the tallest bodybuilder to ever win a men's physique competition. Reed has a fairly harrowing story about how he got to where he is now. As a child, he was diagnosed with leukemia and underwent chemotherapy. After eventually overcoming the disease, he started to take an interest in bodybuilding and names Arnold Schwarzenegger as a big source of inspiration. Now, Reed has more than made a name for himself with his amazing physique and is one of the tallest bodybuilders around. These days, Reed also has a big focus on nutrition and spreading the word about good eating through his writing. Number 4. Conan Stevens. Conan Stevens is an Australian stuntman and bodybuilder who stands at a whopping 7 feet even and is all muscle. Like so many bodybuilders around, Stevens cites Schwarzenegger as one of his biggest inspirations. Additionally, Stevens sticks to a very rigorous eating regimen, which he refers to as the grandpa diet. This includes having no cheat days at all and a big focus on fresh, non-processed foods. So it's easy to see that while he was born with a big frame, he truly pushed himself to become the mountain of muscle he is today. Like Singh, Stevens is less of a bodybuilder and more of a performer. He currently works as an actor, stuntman, and professional wrestler. He's been on big-name shows like Game of Thrones and Spartacus. Like another bodybuilder on this list, Stevens also played the character Gregor Clegane on Game of Thrones. Number 3. Greg Covacs. Gregory Mark Covacs was a Canadian IFBB professional bodybuilder. According to Canadian bodybuilding publication Muscle Insider, Covacs retired from competitive bodybuilding in 2005 to start his own business and coach competitive athletes. Covacs was born and raised in Niagara Falls, Ontario. He studied electrical engineering for 1 year in college, playing traveling hockey and soccer before concentrating on his bodybuilding pursuits. In the latter half of the 1990s, Greg Covacs was the largest pro bodybuilder. According to Muscle Insider, his height, 6'4", he had an off-season weight of 420 pounds and contest weight of 330 pounds. His arms measured 25 inches, his chest 70 inches, and his legs a colossal 35 inches. He has been reported to have developed over 27-inch arms in the prime of his career. Covacs earned his IFBB Pro card in 1996. In June 1997, he appeared on the cover of Flex magazine. His highest professional bodybuilding placing was 13th at the 2004 Arnold Classic. Number 2. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson. At 6'9" and over 400 pounds, Bjornsson is a total giant of a man and has an impressive resume of feats in bodybuilding. Coming from Iceland, he won the Strongest Man in Iceland event in 2010 and then won Iceland's Strongest Man in 2011. He later won Europe's Strongest Man in 2014. Additionally, Bjornsson holds the distinction of being the first person to ever win the Arnold Strongman Classic, Europe's Strongest Man, and World's Strongest Man competition, all in the same year. Like a lot of others on this list, Bjornsson started out with basketball, as is a former professional player. He quickly gravitated towards bodybuilding, where he absolutely excelled. While he's still active in the bodybuilding world, he's expanded hugely. Recently, he became world famous with his role on the hit show Game of Thrones as the Mountain That Rides and taking over the role from Conan Stevens. A truly apt name for one of the biggest and tallest bodybuilders in the world. And for those who are curious, his first name is pronounced Hafthor. Number 1. Olivier Richters. Out of everyone on the list, Olivier Richters is far and away the tallest bodybuilder around. Standing at a mind-boggling 7'2", he is a true living giant. Coming from Hilversum in North Holland, Richters earned his nickname as the Dutch Giant with good reason. Richters' destiny as a bodybuilder wasn't always so clear. He was born with a concave chest and describes his younger self as quite thin. Richters first started out in athletics playing basketball before deciding that the sport wasn't for him and switched over to bodybuilding. He fell in love with it immediately and never looked back. Quickly, the Dutch Giant started making waves, not just for his height but also his amazing physique. Currently, he's the tallest bodybuilder to win a men's physique competition, and we don't think anyone's going to break that record anytime soon. That's all for this video, folks. See you another time. Folks,